Hello, roamers, and welcome to this week's episode of the Where We Roam podcast. We are all together today. It is so nice to see Megan, Sean,
Yeah,
She's
Megan
back.
Dana. What up,
Woo.
everybody?
Hi.
Good morning.
So nice to see you all. All right. So
Good to see
today
you
we're...
too, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys all have a good week? Good weekend?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had baseball like all weekend with the boys and stuff, but besides that, it was,
I
we're
think
coming
we've
to an
all
end. We're in the
been-
playoffs.
We've all been
Oh,
a
that's
bit
good.
busy
Yeah.
this past few
Very
weeks.
much
I
so.
can tell
Yeah.
based on our standard chat.
Yes.
For sure.
It's died down a little bit.
Been-
We're busy.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes we don't even see like the people in my household some days. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Traveling a lot.
Exactly. Well, you're traveling a lot, Dana. You're heading out
Yeah.
on another trip again soon for crying out
Sunday.
loud.
Yeah.
Are
leave
you
Sunday.
really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Every other day. If you need to know, Dana's on a cruise ship. Here we go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Gotta love living in Florida.
that's
Yeah,
true. That's
exactly.
true.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that being said, we're going to hop right into this week's episode. So today we're talking about something that I think all of us love. We're talking about Universal Orlando Resort. And as we all know, there are some massive, massive changes coming to this resort in 2025, which I feel like for some people means that they're pushing off their trip until 25 for Universal. But today we're going to talk about why we think a 2024 or early 25 booking a Universal trip might make sense for a lot of families. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
we've got
Well,
our
like,
top 5 reasons.
Summer 2024 or even late 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Even
For the most
or
part.
even maybe early 25. Depending.
I guess we don't
on
know.
what you're
We
doing.
don't know the true
don't
open
have the
date for
open
Epic
date.
Yeah.
yet, so
Yeah.
that makes
Epic
sense.
is probably
right?
gonna. If I had to guess, Epic is going to be like spring.
That's what I'm
Is
thinking.
my
You think so?
guess.
Yeah.
Because they're opening up at the beginning of the year. They're opening up Stella and Nova. Right? Did
Mhm.
they give the exact dates on that? It's sometime early in
I don't-
25.
Well, I'm
You can
thinking
start booking
spring
them now.
break. Yeah, I'm thinking spring break is when it'll be. They're
I
going
think
to try to
that's
have
their
it ready
soft-
by
yeah,
then.
I think that's
Yeah.
their soft launch, and then they'll be like everything will be rolling by summer. Is my guess
think
by
that-
Memorial Day.
That's
Got it.
probably about
That's
right.
crazy
yeah.
to think about. Really, this time next
It's-
year, we could
I
be
know.
like
It's exciting.
getting ready to go to Epic. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm really
So-
excited. I
so
can't wait to do
exciting.
Super Nintendo World and Dark
Mm.
Universe. That looks so cool. I can't wait to do all those
know.
things.
I
Yeah.
So,
know.
that
We
being
need
said-
to do a full-on episode
A
once we
previewing
have
that, yeah.
all of the info on Epic.
All the
We need to
days.
really
Yeah.
break
They're
it down.
like trickling
we
the
did with
information
Icon.
out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's because it's
exactly.
so far away. And I think they're trying to keep you on the hook by just
Yes.
giving you like little nibbles of information.
Corinne got a dog in her shot.
Go away.
Go.
Sorry.
So those who are listening, Corinne's dog just popped up in the background
Yeah.
of her video.
Yeah, and she's
So-
not going away, so I apologize.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
Usually in
It's
the
all good.
She just wants
couch
to talk
behind
about
me, you can find
universe.
my dog.
universe-
So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's excited.
all
Yeah,
right.
they're kind of releasing one land at a time.
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
watching all the videos, at 3 a.m. this morning when I couldn't sleep. They have some really cool things on the Universal website that kind of virtually take you through each land. They've only released details about 2
Yeah, too.
of the like neighborhoods so far. So
And we're
Yeah,
like,
what,
exciting.
Celestial
As-
Park and
Celestial
the
Park
How to Train a
and-
Dragon.
mhm.
as
Yeah.
travel
Yeah.
advisors, like,
Yeah.
just tell us when we can book it.
We
We've
want
got
all of
people.
it.
know.
Yeah.
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 I
For
know
sure.
why they're doing it, but
Well,
Yeah.
and the lands I'm most excited about, they haven't announced them yet. Like Dark
I
Universe
know.
looks
I
so
know.
cool, and then Super
Yeah.
Nintendo World, and then Harry
Yes.
Potter.
Oh,
Like those
my
are the
gosh.
4 or the 3 everybody cares about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and they
probably
do it
why.
there. There's a
They're holding
reason
on
new
to
for
it.
it.
hotel.
Yeah, there's a
In-park
reason.
hotel.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
reason for sure. But I
Their
think
marketing team
Nintendo's
knows
going
what's
to
up.
mirror what's over in Hollywood, and
I think
it's so
so,
well done
right.
over there. And maybe we'll
With
have
added
another
attractions, though.
attraction. Yeah, I
No,
think
there
they'll.
are
I
gonna
think
be
we'll have
2
an
new
extra.
ones.
DK, right? Donkey
They're gonna
Kong.
have the
Oh,
Donkey Kong ride.
Kong. Yeah, the one that
And that
jumps
one
the
looks really cool.
track.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
good.
that's
And then they're
gonna
going to
be
have the
awesome.
Yoshi one that they have in where's that at? In Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
anyway, we could talk about Epic all day long, but we're going to talk about the
exciting.
5 reasons why we think you should consider a Universal trip or either a last minute Universal trip or sometime coming up in the near future. And
Before
when we
Epic
say
opens.
Yeah.
when we say last minute, typically as travel advisors, I would say less than 3 months is kind of last minute. Less than 2 months would be
Yeah.
considered a last minute trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
Right? Would
days,
you
yeah.
say? I think some people
Even
think, oh, 3
even
minutes.
within the
Yeah.
month, yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah,
right.
there's-
Yes, that's
yeah.
super last minute. But some people think like, oh, 2 months is like a huge like lead time for a trip. But I mean,
hmm
you're coming up on final payment the moment you make your deposit if you're booking
Yeah,
out
that's
2
Right.
months.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Especially with
Florida
Universal.
residents that I work with, and they call like, we want to go next week. Like that's
Well,
last minute.
it's a little
and
different when you're
Universal's good
right
for
in
that.
Florida too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to number one. Our number one reason why we think you should consider a Universal trip this summer is it is easy to plan last minute, right? I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
you just said you had clients that want to go next week,
Mhm.
and you can do it.
Yeah.
You may cost you a little bit because you may not get the promo off that hotel room because maybe that hotel you wanted doesn't have a promo for your dates, but it
Mhm.
might.
Yeah. And one thing else to make mention on this is Universal's pricing is based on availability. It's based on
Right.
supply and demand. So when we always say it makes the most sense to book your vacation immediately when you're thinking of it, we're not lying. The
Yeah.
closer you
Yeah.
get to your arrival dates, the smaller availability that is there and the higher those prices are going to be. And it's
Yeah.
really true
Right.
for Universal. Disney's not so much that way. You're just based on availability over at Disney. But Universal,
Yeah.
those prices can jump a bit based on when you book that trip.
Well, and I
Mhm.
think
Another
what
thing
you're
to
going to
note.
see. Oh, go ahead, Megan.
No, it's okay. So if someone does purchase a package at, let's say, a year out and promotional tickets come out, we can always add those on down the road too.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now,
But
what I will
even
say,
from not from a price point though, just the ease of planning.
yes,
Mhm.
I mean, let's leave price for a second. I mean,
we'll visit that in a sec.
but when I can, am talking to a client, maybe they've been to Disney before, but they've never been to Universal. This literally just happened last week. He was asking me, well, what about, the express passes? What about dining? What about this? And I literally have to go, it's so easy. It's so
Yeah.
easy compared to what you have to do and all the hoops you have to jump and the rules and the guidelines that Disney comes with. And the competition of advanced dining reservations is just so much nicer and more
Yeah.
relaxed, I guess, over at Universal. It's just so
Oh,
much easier.
100%. Yeah, I
even
think when I was
transportation's easier, in my opinion. I mean, just getting
right now it
trying to
is.
tell
Right
someone
now.
who's never, who's never
True.
been there, like how to navigate the property, especially if you're in a premier resort where you have that walking distance or the water taxi. Like it's just so easy to get to the parks, and it's just
Everything
it's
is
just
so
a
compact.
stress-free. It's more of a stress-free experience for someone who is a first timer than a first timer at Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Less time
I
on your
agree. And-
phone too.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Way less
Exactly.
time on your phone.
Well, Megan, talk about that a little bit. Less time on your phone. What exactly does that mean? Disney compared to
So-
Universal.
Yeah. So over at Disney, there's Genie Plus, which we all know all too well. So with Genie Plus, I mean, you're on
We
your
love
phone
to
all the
hate.
time. We love and hate it. Yeah. So you're on your phone all the time, just trying to see what ride you're going to book next, seeing when you can book your next ride. There's so many rules around the whole thing. And you really have to, I do calls with every single client before they go just to make sure they understand it. It's
Yeah.
not intuitive. Over at Universal, if you do the Express Pass, you don't have to be on your phone at all. Unless
Right,
you're
right.
looking up wait times, but
Right.
Yeah.
most of the rides include Express Pass, and
And you
if you
just
have
show
unlimited
up.
Express Pass,
Yeah,
you
you
just show
Right.
up.
Just
How
walk up.
amazing!
Show up for early entry and go.
Yeah.
You show up,
Yes.
and then you want to ride that ride again, you just hop in the line again.
Okay.
Do it again.
Exactly.
Right.
Do it again.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you have the unlimited express by staying at a premier resort, it's unlimited. You can go as many times as you want.
And you can
on
purchase
those
the unlimited
attractions.
express, even if if you don't want to stay at the
You
premier
can.
resort and there's, another resort you want to stay at, you can purchase that extra and still
But
have the same
it can get
conveniences. It's very
Watch those
expensive and it's
prices.
Very
usually
pricey.
more cost effective to just do the premier. And even if you
Right.
do one
Mhm.
night at a premier, you're going to get the unlimited express for 2 days. You get it the day you check
Right.
in and the day you check out. So
Right.
sometimes working with one of us, we can work those numbers and try all those
Finesse it,
different
yeah.
angles to see which one is the best option.
Right. Absolutely. And I want to add, as we're moving on to number two, when we were saying that availability and pricing at the last minute can maybe be more expensive, there are still promotions available. It's just that the promotions may not be at the resort you were wanting. So, like right now,
Right.
the larger resorts like Cabana Bay or Aventura, they still have promotions because they have the most occupancy available. And
Right.
Universal wants to discount the rooms where they
Mhm.
have the most occupancy because they don't want those hotel rooms to sit empty all summer. So
Right.
the resort that's already sold at 90% occupancy for the summer is no longer going to have, will no longer have the promotion, but the other resorts that still have availability. So when we say book early, it doesn't mean there won't be availability when you go last minute. It just means that when you book early, you get first choice at the room
Yeah.
category and the resort and room category.
Well, and at the time of this recording, Aventura and Cabana Bay, I think, are 30% off on
Right.
a
Yeah.
promotional
Huge
rate right now.
discounts, right.
So
Huge
I
discount.
booked a Cabana Bay for me and my family and their new suite, their new tower that has the rooms that overlook Volcano Bay because we're going just to go to Volcano Bay. We're not going into the parks. So for us to have that walkway that goes to Cabana
Mhm.
Bay, and we don't need Express because we're not going
Right.
into the parks. And the Express Pass doesn't work at Volcano Bay. It only works at the 2 theme parks.
Mhm.
So it didn't make sense for us to stay at a premier resort for this particular trip when our goal is just to go to Volcano Bay.
Count us all incredibly jealous. We're going to go to Universal and we're not even going into the parks. We're just
Yeah, I
gonna do
know,
a
Well,
water
right?
now
trip.
I want to go into the parks, which leads into number 2 on our list because there's a ton of new stuff coming out
That's
summer of
true.
2024. And so we have this trip planned in August. And I'm like, well, now I kind of want to go to the parks and just see all the
and
new
this
stuff.
This stuff just
So-
rolled out this week on some of these.
Yesterday, we got the email
Summer
yesterday,
openings.
and I kept
Yeah.
seeing like all the posts and the texts going
Yeah.
through. I think our text
Yes.
chain had stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
Yes.
I
like,
know.
we-
So
we knew it was coming, but like I didn't know everything was coming.
everything.
We should have Dana chat through number 2 just so she has a little bit of that FOMO on this upcoming
Oh,
trip.
we're going in now because my husband already says like, well, we have annual passes. Let's just go down, a few hours
Oh.
early, and we'll just go in and
Yeah.
check it out. So we
Oh,
don't
for
need
sure.
Express to check out the new
Easy.
stuff that's coming out.
All right, well,
so.
tell us what's opening.
So the whole area that's over behind ET, for those that have been in the parks before, they had the Curious George water area. They had the Woody
Woody
Woodpecker roller
Woodpecker.
coaster. They
Mhm.
had a Fievel play area. It was so much
Fievel.
fun. Fievel. They also
Oh, I
had
grew
like
up
a
on that movie. That was
DreamWorks.
amazing.
It
Oh,
was
yeah, wore that
amazing.
VHS out. No kidding.
Yeah.
The
Wore it
original,
out. Yes.
not Fievel Goes West, but the
No.
OG.
Can we stop with the
There are
sequels,
no
please?
cats in America. Sorry.
So
I
that
love
whole
that movie.
area, there was a Barney area back there with like these
Mhm.
really cute Barney
So
bathrooms that I
dated.
just loved. I loved the Barney bathrooms back there. But don't worry, ET is still there, everyone. No need to
Woohoo!
worry
Praise.
or
Not
panic.
going anywhere.
It's still
now.
there. But that
It's
whole
never
area
going anywhere.
behind ET has been
Yeah.
completely redone, and it's DreamWorks Land, I think is like the title of it. But they have a
Yeah.
meet and greet with Shrek at his swamp. They have a roller coaster and learn Kung Fu Panda moves. So it's going to be kind of Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, Trolls, all those
Trolls.
DreamWorks films that we really
And this
love.
is
So
and this is more geared towards the younger crowd. What?
Yeah.
4 to
my
10.
11-year-old loves
Yeah.
Trolls. So
Which
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think is lacking at this point
Right.
without
They
that whole
needed it,
area
yeah.
being gone. Like it's
Definitely.
I mean, I brought my 2-year-old 2 years ago and we were like
Well,
fighting for
th-
things to do.
They've got
Yeah.
Minions in front of the park, but that's about where it ends
yeah.
in Universal Studios Park.
In studios. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then you've got Seuss over in
Islands.
Islands,
yeah.
Islands, yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's not a ton.
Not
But
a
yeah,
ton.
excellent.
But
Okay, and
the
then
meet and greets back there alone will be nice. Having Poppy and Shrek and Fiona, and I'm sure Donkey. They probably moved him. He was over
they
kind
did.
of by
Yeah,
Transformers.
I did see
So
at least
yeah.
the concept art showed Donkey and or Donkey and Shrek together
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
So-
exciting.
yeah. I do
very
love
cool.
that. So I like that they're all contained because I felt like they were kind of spread out before. Because they kind of
Yeah,
had
this is like a
Shrek would
great
sometimes be
spot.
by SpongeBob. Yeah, I mean it was.
Well, Shrek
it's
used to have
nice.
his own meet and greet area when next to Shrek 4D, and then they shut
Mhm.
that whole
Then
area
they took it right
down,
away.
and then it was like everything was
They
scattered.
kind of moved
so now
him
that
over
they're
by
gonna,
Central Park a little bit. We saw him there at
Yeah.
Christmas and his
And
like
I
Christmas
wonder-
stuff.
I wonder if they move Poe from Islands and move him over to this meet and greet area.
They
rather than that
should.
kind of like back
Maybe.
oh, he won't.
passageway
Yeah, he won't be
on
back
your way to
over there
Hogwarts.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So
All right. Speaking of Hogwarts, Dana, what else is opening?
So they have they're going to have a new projection show.
I love this.
Hogwarts Always, which I kind of love the name of it a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
But a new projection show in the evenings, but it's only going to be on select nights as opposed to the other projection show that they did nightly. So this one we'll have to check the app and check the calendar of events and just make sure it's going to be there on the day that you're going to be there.
And all the Potterheads out there understand the significance of the word always at
Yes.
the in the title. So
That's why I
leave it
love
at
the
that.
name.
Love
And
so
then
good.
Megan, did you know the next one? Did you see the announcement about the new show that they're going to do?
Sensational.
Yes.
So that's it's going to be a new show on the Universal Studios side, Symphonic Spectacular. I'm not
Yes.
exactly sure what to expect from this just yet, but I think it'll be a great addition for sure.
Where
I
do you
wonder if
think
it's
it'll
gonna
be?
I don't know. Is it going to have like the fountains and stuff like they used to use, or
I
no?
know.
I think
That's
so.
a good question.
And
We don't know many details.
we don't know a ton of details, but I think it sounds like they're just maybe revamping what was there.
Okay,
On
that
the
old
studio
like
side,
movie
yeah.
nighttime show with the projections on the
On the
fountains and stuff.
water. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
Very
again,
cool.
that one is select nights too.
So they'll probably
I'd
be
like to note that,
alternating
yeah.
the Universal side, and depending on which park closes later, because sometimes they'll change the hours up. One will close earlier than the other, so that may
Right.
determine what night as well.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, and then on July 3rd, so those things all open June 14th, so right at the official start of summer. But on July 3rd, starting, I think this is what I'm most excited about, is
I
the new
know.
Mega Movie Parade. Can I tell you who's going to be in this parade real quick? This is so
yeah.
cool. This is like amazing. So E.T., so they had me at
course.
E.T., like just full stop. I'm
Of
in.
course.
And then Trolls, which is great for my kids. They love Trolls. Back to the Future, which is so great. The DeLorean's got to
Yes.
be rolling down.
Gotta
Hopefully
Surely.
they've got it moving.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping they do. And then they have a Jurassic Park float, Minions float. There's going to be 13 new floats with over 100 performers. Now, my
Yeah.
only concern is they're saying it's on select days. So
Yeah.
a lot of these things are select days. And that makes me
Yeah.
wonder, are they looking at their summer calendar and being like, okay, these days are soft. Like,
Mhm.
so they're like, we're not going to do these performances if it's too empty in the parks. Like what what's
don't
the-
I'm
know.
wondering
Yeah,
if they're
the
doing
reason.
it to gauge how people respond and react to it. Do they love it? Get some feedback. If people are like, we love this, it's packed. Every parade is packed.
do they
Then
announce
they
new
add
dates?
more days. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they
an
may
idiot.
just be kind of feeling it out and seeing how it goes because Universal is not really known for like their parades and stuff. So maybe
Outside of Mardi
you
Gras,
know, or Macy's. The Macy's
and
one
the
at
Macy's
Christmas
thing they do. So yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
It could also
Yeah.
alternate with the sensational thing.
Yes.
So they
'Cause you're-
might stagger those two things so that
Yes.
Maybe.
people who are
Unless
going
they're
there
all
for the
like
week.
on the weekends. I haven't looked at which nights are select and which ones
Yeah.
aren't. Like which ones
Yeah.
are the nights they're doing
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
Well, because Christmas is hard because you want to be like Mannheim Steamrollers maybe performing over at Islands of Adventure, but then you don't want to miss the Macy's parade. So it's almost like you
Too
need
many
a
things
night.
happening.
You need a night at each place, which takes a little bit of planning because you want to make sure you catch both of those on the specific night that they're running.
Mhm.
So it does kind of
Yeah.
mirror what they do at Christmas a little bit.
Could
And
always
there's
do that
important
park to
things to
park
note.
ticket though.
You got to
What's
have
that?
a
Well,
park
that's
to
true.
park ticket. So you
Well,
can just run to both.
Right. Well, here's what I'll say is that it's also important to note that there are a lot of special ticketed events and nighttime happenings once we get to August, end of August,
Mhm.
because like
Mhm.
almost every night of the week, Universal Studios is closing down early for
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
that
something
could be
to
why
consider.
there's
They're
some
not doing
select
that
nights as well.
sensational right
Yeah.
Mhm.
for that time. So we'll see what happens.
That's
I'm really
true.
looking forward to it. I want to see it so bad that the ET and the Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, I mean, those three things right there.
Well, clear your summer schedule and let's just go make it happen.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like Spielberg and
Just
Robert
do it.
Zemeckis, like that's my childhood. So
Yeah.
good work.
I'll let you
I'll
know
be
how it is
there.
in August when I'm there.
I'll be there at the end of June. We'll see
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Corinne.
if I'm
Corinne will
able
scope it
to.
out.
You'll have to
Oh,
report
that's
back.
right. You are
Yeah.
Oh,
there.
it's July
Yeah.
3rd, though. Are you going to be there July
Oh,
3rd?
no, I
you'll
won't
miss
see the
that.
parade.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
but
leave
maybe the
Florida, and then you get down there right after that, right?
really.
I'm there until the 22nd.
Oh, I'm there.
then
I'm
I
there
come
starting the 26th.
Yeah.
Hi, bye.
Hi.
And I'll be in
You fly over
Mexico.
my house.
I
You'll
won't
be in
even be
Mexico
in
that
Florida
week.
when y'all are both in Florida.
Oh,
I'll be in
geez.
I'll
Mexico.
be in
gosh.
Vermont.
Oh, that's
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
None of us
In
will
the
be
summer.
here.
I mean, it's
In the
not the
summer.
heat of Arizona, so I'll take it. But
Yeah,
It's
I don't know,
Yeah.
cooler than
Mexico,
Arizona.
Vermont.
Yeah.
I like Vermont.
Yeah.
We're going to be
All right.
everywhere. We are everywhere, people. We are everywhere.
Yeah, you got to track us all down.
We're
All right,
roaming.
number 3. All right, this is really, really big because I'm just going to say this. Expect 2025 prices at Universal to surprise you.
I think so.
when
Sticker
you
shock.
when you get a quote from Disney sometimes and you're like, whoa, they're charging how much? And you were able to in the past go, okay, I'm going to go over here and check Universal out. And you're like, oh, cool, I can save a couple $1,000s and still have a fantastic trip. I think you're going to see a huge spike in pricing on those multi-park tickets, the multi-day tickets.
I think it'll be a huge spike, especially for any resort option that gives you unlimited express pass, assuming that that's going to extend
they even
over
do that. Yeah.
to Epic Universe.
They could redo the whole structure of how that works. And
we don't know how their
no
ticketing is
idea.
going to work anymore.
Right.
We don't
Yeah.
know park pass reservations
Yeah.
are going to be in place for Epic. We don't know any of that yet.
Yeah. So it's better to take advantage of what it is right now when we know what you're going to get and the value that you're going to get. Yeah.
You know, like when you go to Universal, it's just go have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thinking, no planning, just go.
That
Have
may be gone
adventures,
with
yeah.
Epic. We don't know.
Yeah.
So
Let's point out that we can book currently through the end of April 2025. But
right.
past that, once Epic opens, that's when we expect the spike to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, and that's exactly. All right. So while we're talking about Epic, I just want to we've talked briefly about it. I'm just going to say these very exciting things that are coming. Ministry of Magic, that is such a cool idea. The Parisian streets, all of that is going to be such a cool addition to the parks. I can't wait to see what they do with it, and it's hopefully going to have a really cool vibe, kind of like Diagon Alley does at night. You know, like I'm hoping that they do something really special back there. Super Nintendo World, they're bringing that's just incredibly well themed. Yeah, I can't wait for that. My kids are going to go nuts. The fact that they're incorporating the dark universe, bringing the old Universal monsters, but they're apparently giving them like a refresh, like a modern take on this.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Bring them into 2025.
And like, even though like we kind of like, I don't want to say we poo-pooed it, but the How to Train Your Dragon stuff looks really fun. Like the water ride that they're doing.
Yeah, the ride looks really well done. So I'm excited
and then the racers,
to see that.
all that looks great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those aren't those aren't our movies, you know. So
we
I
didn't
understand
grow up
why
with those.
we didn't grow up with those, so we don't have
My
that.
kids are really excited about them. Like they love
as long as the
them.
rides are good, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Same.
Yeah.
And then Celestial Park is going to be like kind of like their main street, but it's like kind of goes through the entire park. It's kind of like the hub, like one long hub. I think that looks, but there's a ride in it, which is so cool because like Main Street and other places like that don't normally have rides.
Right. They're a means to another place.
The thing I'm really excited to see what they do with is the Helios ride. I'm not right. The Helios Hotel.
The
They're
hotel,
it's gonna have its own entrance into Epic Universe. That's
Which
very
very
dollar bills.
Yeah, which is
dollar
very
bills.
Galaxy's Edge esque to me. To
We'll
the Star Wars Hotel.
We'll see if I don't think they're going to make the mistake of this is a 2-day experience and we're going to tell you a story
No.
over 2 days.
Yeah.
To me,
But I
this
think it's
this
potentially
speaks
very well themed.
Tokyo Disney Sea with
Yes.
the Hotel Miracosta that
Exactly.
floods you directly in, or even Grand
California
Hotel.
Yeah.
Out in Disneyland that gives you direct access. I think that's what they're going for, and I think it's a great idea.
And it's gonna be, I think it'll be really well interwoven into Celestial Park. Like I think that's going to be really cool the way they tie it all in.
And I'm curious to see what kind of perks that particular resort has. Does it have any extra perks along with it in addition to being the located where it is?
Well, it's obviously going to have
It has
Express,
to be a
right?
premiere, right?
Yeah.
I don't
have
think
something.
that I have
Does
I have
Express
looked.
change?
But
I don't think
Is this-
Express
do they
is going to
take
be
an
in Epic at all. If I'm being
You don't
100%
think?
honest, I think it's going to be like Volcano Bay, and you have to buy a separate Epic Express pass like you do for Volcano Bay. That's not in the original 2.
nothing.
This is all just speculation.
It's
Okay? We have
speculation.
no
We have
idea.
no
what we're
idea.
doing.
But when this is
I don't think that's true.
Universal
We'll see.
really amping it up. So you have to take what you knew from the past and take it off the table because
Which
what they've
goes
done
back
with
to
Express is keeping it like the reason you go to Universal is higher thrills over Disney, higher thrills and less overall wait times. Yeah, you pay
Right.
for it when you stay at these nice hotels, but being able to walk in without being glued to your phone, like Megan was talking about,
Yeah.
without having to line up every single ride one after another, and it, 50% of the time
And-
not being the ride that you were really wanting to get
Yeah.
on next.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's the nickel
Universal
and
knows what's
diming.
up.
It's the nickel and diming. It's the Genie Plus edition, then the individual Lightning Lane edition. It's all the extra cost. And that's why my husband was like,
After the fact.
he's
That's
like,
right.
I would
day of.
much rather go to
Yeah.
Universal these days, the way it's structured now versus when we had Fast Pass and all of that. Back
Which
in the
brings
day.
it back. All of these question marks. We don't know what's going to
Right.
happen with when Epic Universe opens. We
Yeah.
do, but we
Mhm.
do know for sure the prices are going to go up.
100%.
And we're pretty sure they're going to change the way tickets are structured somehow. We don't
Yeah.
know what that means because of the demand for the new park, whether that
And-
means a
and
reservation or what.
We know what our clients can currently expect if they go in 2024 and early
Right.
2025.
Which is why we're recommending maybe that's why it's our number 3 reason, because there's a lot of changes coming, positive,
Right.
but also maybe like big question marks. We don't know how the Universal is
Yeah.
going to handle it, and they are sending out all kinds of surveys to people over the last 6 months,
Mhm.
trying to figure out how they can, one, maximize their profit off of the new park, pay it off quick, and two, what are people going to be willing to accept change wise? Are they
Yeah.
going to be okay with the
Mhm.
reservation system? Because everybody hated that at Disney,
Yeah.
and
For a
Disney
short
really doesn't
time.
have it anymore.
And it doesn't mean that it'll stay long term. They may
Mm,
try something for a little while and see how
That's
it
true.
goes. But even at Hollywood, you have to pay extra to get early admission into Super Nintendo. They may do
Yeah.
something like some early
They
access
might.
thing. But another
Yeah, but
reason
that's
for
like
20
$20. That's worth it.
it is another thing about 2024 booking as well is that if you've never experienced Universal or Islands of Adventure, this would be a good time to go so that you can fully experience those 2 parks before Epic gets added, so you can really get those
Without
under
the
your
crowds
belt.
too.
Yeah, get those
Right.
under your belt, get familiar with the system, how Universal does things. And then once Epic opens, you can go back and you have already done the other 2 parks and feel comfortable with those, and you can spend more time at Epic.
I really think that Universal does a really good job of listening to the feedback of their guests and
Mhm.
modifying their course of action to
Sure.
truly give a better overall experience. I sometimes hesitate with how I feel Disney does with this. I think they're all about feedback, but they are also all about that bottom dollar.
The
Well,
big
they're all
cheese.
about maximizing profit.
Maximizing profit. So yeah,
Return
I guess
for shareholders
might want
is
it.
the biggest downside of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Disney
Whereas
company at this point.
I think that's a huge difference between these 2 companies.
I do feel
Mhm.
like Disney is tacking back a little bit on course recently towards caring more about guest experience and making small adjustments. That being said, the nickel and diming has never been worse. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like they
Well, they
keep
gave us
ticking up the
parking
prices
back. Yeah.
yeah, but
Thank-
now
thanks
it's
to You're paying
$25,
yeah.
per day for Genie Plus, as opposed to when it started was like
You're
what,
spending that
15?
money
You
somewhere
know,
else.
$15
Yeah.
bucks.
they're
that's
still
where
getting
Genie
it from you
started.
in a different way.
I
So
remember when
all
Genie
right.
Plus was $10.
Was it?
No.
Oof.
Yes, when it
Yeah,
I
during
remember
COVID.
$10. Yeah, during
Oh.
COVID it was $10.
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna go to number 4, and Megan's gonna lead us off on this one because it's
Megan.
fantastic. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Megan.
Megan loves it.
So Volcano Bay is one of my favorite additions for Universal. If we are going in the warmer months, my family does not skip it. It's fantastic for the whole family. I mean, there's a little kid water splash area with some younger kids slides. So if you have littles, there's definitely an area for them.
That's a
When you
great
first
spot.
walk
Mhm.
into,
Mhm.
it is a great spot. When you first
I've
walk
sat
into
there with
Volcano
drinks in my
Bay,
hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Leaning back and you watch your kids. You found a lounger. There's always a space to sit. It's great.
vacation for them, vacation for you. It works.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. When you first walk in, there's the really large volcano. So that's just, it just hits you right away, and it's beautiful. If you, and you know your kids are going to want to be in that main pool right there, there's certainly plenty of seats. For my family, we typically will go up and around to the right, and there's seating everywhere around this
Yeah.
park. So if you're looking for a quieter area where you can sit back and read a book and have a drink and relax, and kids can play in the sand, they've got you covered there too. I think one of the things I love. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I'll jump in afterwards. Go ahead. Keep going.
One of the things I love about Volcano Bay is there's something called the Tapu Tapu bracelet. So you put this on your
Mhm.
wrist and you can tap into different rides. And when you do so, it gives you a return time. So as opposed to standing there and waiting in line, tap into, let's say, the Aqua Coaster, which is one of the
Oh,
Yeah.
Krakatoa.
main attractions
Yes.
there.
Yes,
So
that
Yes.
is the
fun.
best ride there.
So much
Love
fun.
it.
Tap in there first thing because, again, it is the most popular ride. Tap
Yeah.
in and then go somewhere else.
I'll
And
say come
have
back in
fun as
40
opposed
minutes.
to
Come back
standing
in 30
line.
minutes.
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
it's the greatest system. And
It's
then you go and
genius.
you get in a shorter wait somewhere else. You wait 15 minutes to go down the raft ride, the multi-person raft ride that's over there to
Mhm.
the right before you
blue
get to
one?
it. And then yes, it's so good. Like it's just genius the way that they
Can I
design
tell you,
that.
if
You
you
can really
have
maximize your day.
if you have a cabana, they have a kiosk in your cabana where you can get your tapu tapu times from your cabana. Whereas if you
Shut the
don't,
front
you
So
have
door.
to
convenient.
walk
Of course
physically
Dana knows
walk.
this. It only costs
Of
a
course
little
she
bit more to
does.
go first class.
I've never been to Volcano Bay without a cabana. I've been like 5 or 6 times. I have never been without a cabana. It's hands down. You got to have it. But you
Of
could
course
instead of
course.
otherwise, you have to physically walk to the ride, scan the kiosk outside the ride, and then go ride
That
something
sounds-
else. But
That
if you
sounds
have a
awful.
cabana, you can
That's
just
for
That sounds awful.
peasants.
I know.
Okay, you don't have
Peasant.
to have a cabana to maximize your time there.
But you are if you're Dana.
But
I
if
just want
you
to say her bougie
enjoy,
butt 100% is just sitting there putting
Every
her little
single
wrist
time.
up, tapping every 30 minutes. Here we go.
okay, let me do a real
Come
quick
here, my
cabana
babies.
perk.
I'll tap.
Okay.
I'll tap in for you.
Yes, you can.
I
100%. All the
know.
bands. So here's 2 seconds. Give me this. Volcano Bay does not provide towels, so you have to bring your own towels. If you have a cabana, they provide you towels. You also get a mini fridge stocked with water. You also get a safe with a lock, so you can put all your valuables in there. You don't have to worry about anything. They also have a ceiling
Your
fan in there.
Gucci, your
They
Chanel.
have charging ports for your phone. Hang on. Hear me out. Charging ports for your phone. At the end of the day, when you're wet and you want to change clothes, they have curtains you can close. You can change your clothes. And then they
Do
have someone
whatever.
waiting. They have someone waiting on you all day long. They give you their cell phone number. You text them, say, I want a Mai Tai. They just bring you a Mai Tai. They bring you a basket with
You have
cookies,
to pay for the Mai
fruit.
Tais.
Yeah. But you get a welcome basket. It has fruit, cookies, like tons of, it's like packed full, and a little thing of hand sanitizer. And all day you can be like, my daughter wants a hot dog.
I mean,
Text the
sign me
number.
up. This
Bring me a
does
hot
sound
dog.
amazing. I would
It
love to.
is.
I don't see why. I
Experience
don't
this
know that
every
I'll do it
single
again
time.
without it.
I just reserved it for August, and
How much was it? How much was it?
You
See,
might
okay, bougie
die.
butt.
You might die
See,
a
you
little
might
bit.
die. You might die.
It was
More-
$825.
I was about to guess $800. I was about to guess
Yeah.
$800.
It's the most we've ever spent on the cabana. The most I spent before was $799. But remember, we're in peak season,
Mhm.
and we're in August.
And you don't want to skip the water park when you're going in
I
the
think
summer.
you could do it for $6.99
You can do it without
in
a
the
cabana.
monsoon. It would be awesome.
What you have a shelter if it's raining. But
There
they
you
also
go.
have preferred seating. So if you don't, if you want to save some of that money, but you want to have a seat with like a covering, they do have preferred seating that is available as well. So
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the options.
That was
Mhm.
very
Giving you the
And
entertaining.
let's not
Thank you,
forget,
Dana.
Dana's walking into this trip with an AP discount on her room.
100%.
AP, so no ticket cost. So yeah, splurge
Correct.
a little bit. First
Florida
class.
resident.
AP ticket.
Florida resident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whichever
Yeah,
one's
I
better.
think it's important. I think exactly.
Yeah.
I think
So-
that's important to note.
What do we think Volcano Bay compares with in terms of other water parks in the Florida area? Does
That's
anything
my
more
favorite,
candle to it?
personally.
I'm holding up a one finger. It's number one
Yeah.
for those
Mhm.
Number
listening.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. We've tested
I
them
don't
all.
think-
But what are our options?
Mhm.
Let's talk through that real quick.
Aquatica is the closest one physically because SeaWorld and Aquatica are right there.
Right there.
Next to
And then
Universal.
you also have Typhoon
And Discovery
Lagoon.
Cove is there as well. That's the closest
Yeah.
proximity wise.
Yeah.
Then Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, but not all the time are they open at the same time.
Sometimes only one is open.
Right. And then
'Cause they're always working on
Legoland.
one of them.
Legoland
they
has
open
one as well.
right?
They
Yeah.
did.
That's way
I've-
out there, Winter
I've-
Park.
It's way
Not
out
Winter
there,
Park,
but they
Winter-
have cabanas too there.
What is that? It's not Winter Gardens. What is that area
Winter
called?
Haven?
Winter Haven. Winter Haven. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
45 minutes.
I used to live in
past.
Lakeland. I should know that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, but it's not
Volcano
as
Bay is the best. So
Yeah.
hands
is what
down.
we're saying.
number
Mhm.
one.
hands down number
And
one.
and honestly, if we're coming up on this summer and you're trying to plan a last minute trip, I mean, you may have crowds during your actual park days, but there's nothing better than sandwiching between your park days a volcano day, a Volcano Bay day, and just going and laying and tapping your tapu tapu, riding a ride, going and laying on the little on your like it is so chill. Laying and going doing the lazy river, doing the not so lazy river.
Yeah.
It is a relaxing day sandwiched between. There's nothing else like it in Orlando.
Well,
But
also
could
you do that park to park and go back
yes.
into the park in the evening
That's
as
what
well.
I was going to say. Yeah, you could go back for the projection show. You could go back in the evening for the nighttime stuff.
All right. So it's easy.
Kind of leading into number 5 too that we're gonna be talking on. But a little bit. Thank you. A little bit with price point though. Talking about right now, they have a 3-park. They're calling it a 3-park 4-day promo ticket, and is basically the same price as a 2-day ticket. I just looked. It's like $10 more per person, but you're getting 4 days basically for the price of 2. And you get access to all 3 parks, which are the 2 theme parks and Volcano Bay.
When does that park that ticket go through? Do we know?
No, I haven't. I didn't look at the dates.
Sorry about that. I asked questions I didn't know the answer to.
Universal's always doing some sort of nice ticket
They've always
promotion.
got something.
They are. Last year it was like buy 2 get 3 for free. This is essentially buy 2 get 2 for free.
Get 2 free.
There's always something
it makes
going
sense
on.
for them. They're wanting you to extend your stay. They don't want you to do this on a weekend. They want you to stay for 4 or 5 nights.
Well, because right now most people that are going to Universal in their mind they think it's a 2-day trip, so they want a 2-day ticket. And what these 2-day, pay for 2 get 2 free essentially things, they basically allow you to extend your stay without paying anything extra on those tickets, and then they capture all of your like dollars, like your food dollars and your all the other add-on things you're going to do, like
or extra
like
nights at the
souvenirs
hotel.
Extra nights at the hotel instead of you being over at Disney and coming over for a day or 2. You're now maybe considering hanging out. It's smart.
And when you're doing
But I don't think
Volcano
it's
Bay,
happening next year.
I think 4 days is a perfect amount of time. I think that's a sweet spot on 2.5, 3 days in the park, and then 1 day Volcano Bay, splitting it up somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's perfect for me.
Megan, do y'all always do Volcano Bay when you guys go?
I mean, I'm typically there with the family between March and October. So yes, we do.
Yeah.
I'm not usually there in the winter months.
Yeah. So the time of year that you go, the fall and the early spring, it's open because I know they shut it down a little bit when it's cold out.
Well,
but
it's
I
like
mean, temperature-wise,
they close it down, but like day to day, like during COVID, they shut it down for like 3 months at a time. But then we were talking about this maybe like 6 months ago, Corinne. Like it's like they shut it down every day it's below a certain temperature.
Right.
But otherwise it's open. It could be open because that's the thing about Florida. It could be 80 degrees in
December,
January. Like who knows? You just don't know.
Right.
Or it could be 40 degrees. It's bizarre.
It is very bizarre.
So we were talking price a little bit. Sorry, we got
So number 5 is going into number 5 is how do we get back to Volcano? We're comparing it to the other water parks. I don't know.
Oh, the park to park ticket. That was my fault.
But number 5 was going to be comparing it to your experience, your overall experience at Disney. And I'll say this because before we started recording, we sat down and we ran some numbers for this summer, and Disney has some promos and there's some like hacks you can do to try to like do some last minute, combining of a promotional ticket with a room only offer from Disney to really finagle down your last minute deluxe package. That being said, so which makes the actual like on paper, the prices be really similar. That being said, you have to take into consideration all of the add-ons, all of the planning that has to go into your Disney trip, all of the 60 days worth of dining that you have to consider. 60 days out, you need to make your dining reservations at Disney World if you want to eat at a lot of the restaurants.
The 7 a.m. wake up calls.
The midnight before you go to bed to make sure that you're adding Genie Plus the night before and then getting up at 7 to book your first Genie Plus and your virtual queue and your individual Lightning Lane purchases. So there's a lot of planning and strategy that when you're doing a last minute Universal trip, it's kind of like set it and forget it. And especially, so we were pricing apples to apples, essentially like a 4-day ticket to Disney with a 4-day pass with that promotional ticket, their promotional ticket versus the promotional ticket at Disney and the promotional ticket Universal,
almost apples to apples.
Almost apples to apples when
Minus
you
the
factor in a
park
premier,
hopper.
right? When you have a premier resort,
Yeah.
that has includes unlimited express versus having to pay for all that out of pocket. It's almost a wash dollars wise, plus all of the extra add-ons that you have to do. So, and the headache. I don't know. I think for last minute, Universal's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Or even a long weekend.
Unless you have really young kids. Although with some of the things that are coming out for summer, it will help. But I think really young kids, it's more geared towards Disney.
Personally, I think that works when you have several children and your youngest is still in that like age. I don't know if I had like 2 or 3 kids that were under 8, that this would be my first choice.
Yeah. Well, we didn't
Does that make sense?
We didn't talk about this or think about this before we started, but a family of 5 where you can get a $35 rollaway bed.
That's true.
You pop a family of 5 in here at Disney, and those prices jump even more.
That's true. Coming from a family of 5, that is 100% accurate. Because my son's 8, we put him on a rollaway every time. We've never had trouble getting a rollaway. We just request it; it's always there. So
they always bill you the $35 a night. Are they good about it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't forget. They do not forget. But like you were saying, the dining is just easier. Just the nickel and diming is not as bad. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely
less
for
time
me.
On the phone.
Yes, exactly. And it's just like, okay, let's just hop up and go. And it's quick and easy. It's closer to the airport. They have the shuttle that runs that you can get, through Universal. So for me, it's definitely easy for a quick last minute.
Yeah.
Let's do something. Get away.
Agree.
And one last thing. If you were to do Cabana Bay or Aventura, that does not have that express pass included, you can couple that with a ticket that includes express pass, unlimited express pass, and it's usually a savings overall, but that does not include that Volcano Bay access. So you'd be paying $60 to $80 per person.
I don't think you need it at Volcano Bay. If I'm being honest, I mean,
I'm just talking about access.
That ticket doesn't necessarily. It's a 2-day. It's a 2-park ticket.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get the free days, so there's going to be a price jump there.
Right.
So your best bet is to stay at a premier resort. Probably, if you have a family of 4, a premier resort is probably going to be less than adding on a different ticket or express individually.
Yeah.
So
no,
but you could always do express for one day. You don't have to do express for the entirety of the ticket.
True.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. I mean, I already have a Disney trip planned, but if I can convince everybody to do a whole nother Florida trip this summer,
we have to do Halloween Horror Nights, so we're gonna have to do it.
That's true. There it is.
All right, Corinne starts gasping.
On the
deep breaths.
Corinne is like losing her mind.
Okay, you can hold all of our stuff outside, and we'll go in, and then we'll.
Your Gucci and your Chanel.
No, outside the house.
You're her little locker.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. In case you couldn't tell, we actually really, really do love Universal, and we love the ease of use or the ease of planning and the ease of it's just not stressful when you're there. It's a different type of trip. And Volcano Bay being, if you sandwich that in the middle of your day, or in your middle of your trip, it's a great downtime. It's chef's kiss. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, we would appreciate a like and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, we would really appreciate a like or a subscribe there as well, as that'll help other people just like you find us on this new medium that we're just kind of, dipping our toe into. Lastly, if you'd like to give us your thoughts about Universal versus Disney or any other thing that we've talked about on today's show, feel free to do a search for the Where We Roam podcast on Facebook, and come over to the community, and we'd love to chat with you and tell you why you're wrong. Just kidding. You're probably right. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.